Live from the virtual Mount Panorama circuit, famously known as Bathurst, welcome sim racing fans to the Apex Racing League Bathurst 250, live on Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Esports Network. I'm Arrow's Joshua Lee, joined by Peter McKay, and Marco Barbanera is down in the production trailer. And Peter, there is nothing more famous in motorsports than V8 supercars at Bathurst, and these guys are ready for 40 laps of action.
Oh, Josh, I'm so excited for this race. For me, it doesn't get an awful lot better than these wonderful, unique racing cars here at this extraordinary circuit. I remember watching the Bathurst 1000 as a small boy, and I've loved it ever since. And for these drivers to go racing in the virtual world today, I am just as excited. And looking at some of the lap times in qualifying, I think we're going to be in for a thriller.
And the virtual world provides all of the same racing action that the real world does. We're seeing close times, we're seeing a lot of drivers struggle through the back section, and we're seeing these cars really be aggressive with these drivers. These cars are not easy to reel around this track.
Well, they are not. No, they're huge horsepower, up to 650 horsepower from these naturally aspirated V8, and in the real world these are actually operated by a hand gear shift, still a sequential gear shift. They actually weigh nearly as much as a NASCAR Cup car, so they do, as you say, take a lot to hustle around. But number 22 of Brady Myers, a 2:03.5, that is an extraordinary lap time, the only driver below 2:04, and well, that's some of the fastest pace you'll ever see around here in the sim.
Brady Myers and Adam Briggs were the fastest two in practice, keeping that up as they go through qualifying. Kester Mack just roaring down and right into the corner. They just take these corners so incredibly quickly. And he gets it slowed down going through the chase, the final two corners before Murray's corner. 23 corners in total on this racetrack. And a lot of them tight, a lot of them require some heavy braking. And the back section can be related to a rally course almost, as he goes sliding through Murray's corner. Not the best lap he was looking for, but he does have a couple more opportunities and about 9 minutes left in qualifying to get another one in. As we see another car come across the start-finish line off of Murray's corner, completing his lap. Matthew Feldman, 2:08.567.
Yeah, the drivers have 4 flying laps allowed here in this 15-minute qualifying session. So, here at Bathurst, it's very, very easy just to rub the wall or just to step over the track limit. So you've got to be very careful. But, of course, over the mountain section, as we head up the mountain straight now, up the gearbox, opening up all that horsepower from that naturally aspirated 5-litre V8. Once you get onto the mountain section, that is where all the time is won and lost. And in order to get that lap in qualifying, it requires incredible commitment in car controls. We head up here through Quarry Bend towards the cutting, and you just see you have to use all the road on the exit here. For those that have never experienced it, I urge you to go and have a try on iRacing, driving this incredible circuit in these cars. It is quite an experience.
Through Quarry Corner near Raid Park, as he gets through Frog Hollow, Solomon Park into McPhillamy Park, and that's all down before they get to the Skyline and the S's. And one of the most famous parts of this circuit, the Dipper, a hard left-hander that requires immense car control and throttle and brake control as well. As you can see him coming through the S's now, very fast section of this race course. And just hard right-hand braking, and you can see the car still sliding as he even goes through the Dipper. These cars cannot handle this, but these drivers wheel them around anyway.
Yeah, that's a very graphic demonstration of just how hair-raising a lap here around Bathurst is. Down the Dipper and the S's, the car is actually almost out of contact with the ground. You're almost free-falling down the hill, and you've just got to try and guide this absolute cruise missile of a race car through the between the walls. It's kind of a bit like driving a speedboat or driving a space shuttle that handles like a speedboat. It's really, really, really tricky. As we see the 55 here of Luke Rosella, one of our front runners, currently 2 seconds off the pace right now. He's got a couple of personal best sectors here. Oh, and he goes into pit lane, so he's done for this qualifying session. So he will be no better than 4th place on the grid.
A good lap though from him, and a good practice on the back end of that circuit, the difficult part of this circuit on Mount Panorama. You're now taking a look at Kester Mack, looking to get his first time in on the board. We'll see where that 144 Ford Mustang is going to go on the leaderboard. It looks like he took a green flag lap here. We'll see what he has as he comes across in about 2 minutes. Now here's Brady Myers, one of the favorites coming into tonight's race. And he is just incredibly fast. Fastest time on the leaderboard right now, 2:03.564. And that 22 Logitech Holden going to come through Murray's corner and onto the front straightaway. We'll see what he has, if he can improve on that pole time that he has set.
Oh, interesting. He backs out of it, so that's interesting there from Myers. He'll stay on pole though with a 2:03.564. Now, as you can see, we have 2 different cars here today. We have the Ford Mustang GT and also the Holden Commodore. Now, these cars in iRacing are technically identical. They're dynamically identical, just a different body shape on them. In the real world, there's little differences between them, but the performance incredibly close. So really, here in iRacing, it's just whether you are a Ford person or are you a Holden person, and that, of course, is one of the most divisive rivalries anywhere in motorsport. It's when they come to the Bathurst 1000, it's big pride at stake to see who's going to take the win between Ford and GM.
And I gotta say, as the only American here in the booth, I gotta root for my Fords. We built in America, sold to the world. And you're taking a look at Mal Paul right now in the 2, currently ranked 20th on the leaderboard with the 2:13. He wants a better lap time as he is screaming that Ford Mustang down the straightaway.
That's coming down into the chase, the fastest part of the circuit. When you've come down the Conrod straight, braking from top gear, and then trying to get these cars slowed down. You've got so much weight to slow down, not an awful lot of aerodynamics, and steel brakes as well, no carbon brakes. So the getting this car slowed down is a real challenge, as we see. Let's get Mal Powell over the line. What can he do? 2:11.5, so a little bit off the pace for Mal. And the number 74 of Matt Knight has had a big off. Look at that. He's lost the whole front bodywork section of his Holden. So let's have a look and see what's happened to him. He's coming through the chase here. Just gets a little bit of a wiggle onto the curb, tries to gather it. Whack. It just shows you there, Josh, just the tiniest bit of a mistake, you will be severely punished around this Bathurst circuit.
And there isn't a lot of space on this circuit as opposed to off-track surface, because you can see it even here on the straightaway. Walls surrounding the track, and that is pretty much the entire circuit. A lot of walls, not a lot of open grass to spin into. So that just goes to show how much car control it truly takes to wheel these cars around this track, not only fast, but without hitting anything.
So we're riding on board here for a look around Bathurst. A little bit of understeer there in aboard this Holden. Really tricky there to get that corner right. Hell corner it's called, and aptly named. Up the gearbox we go then. You'll see the little red and blue levers there. That's actually in a real world V8 supercar for adjusting the brake bias on the move, and you'll see the drivers using that a lot. You'll see here, you can just hear the tyres screeching. Very high track temperature here at Bathurst, very hot, which makes it very slick and slidey for these Dunlop tyres. Up we go then into the cutting, trying to tuck it in without clipping the wall, fighting the oversteer on the outside as you open up 650 horsepower with no traction control. Through we go then, avoiding the wall. It's just threading it through here as we head through Solomon Park over to McPhillamy Park, a blind left-hander over the crest. Where's the apex? There it is, back on the power, heading down towards the skyline and the S's, and you just drop off the end of the world here, trying to thread this big monster through the cutting through the dipper, then down towards Forest Elbow, a very tricky left-hander, but the most important corner on the circuit here, because getting a good exit out of here, really important, onto the Conrod straight and then right back up the gearbox again.
He heads down Conrod straight towards the chase, the final 4 corners of this circuit, the chase into Murray's corner to finish off this 2 minute, a little bit over 2 minute lap time. And Scott Newton just sends that car through that flat-out right-hander, hard on the brakes into this short left-right chicane that dumps you right onto this straightaway. Car unloads there. Make sure you get the traction under you as you head into Murray's Corner. One final left-hander, and you are home across the start-finish line, and this lap is going to be completed for Newton. We'll see where that lap time will sit. And it is a 2:06.637, so he's going to keep his original lap time of a 2:06.61.
Interesting to see, Josh, that most of the drivers have put in their very best lap times in the very early stages of the qualifying session. So perhaps maybe the track temperature rising up and causing that grip to go. But let's see our grid then.
Sim time is going up as well. 11:35 now sim time as qualifying ends. 2-1. The timer will complete as we will take a look at our starting grid for the Apex Racing League. Bathurst 250. 40 laps of action. One of the most historic tracks in the world with one of the most historic car track combos as well. And this grid is second to none. Brady Myers starts on the pole. That Logitech GE Sports car ready to lead the field to the green flag with Andrew Dyson to his outside. Then Adam Briggs, Luke Rosella, Mario Vartanayan rounds out your top 5. And then Keen Addard, Damian Stockton, Xander Antoneff, Simon Ferriss, and Scott Newton rounds out your top 10.
Lockie Brown will start on the 6th row of the grid alongside Justin Schweikert. On row 7 will be Jason Hook and Daniel Aish. 15th will be Matt Feldman. 16th, Phil McDougall, followed by Kester Mack, Grant Madiford. Diane Feldman will roll off from 19th place. 20th will be Mal Powell. 21st will be Steve Brown. And finally, in 22nd place on the grid, Matt Knight, as our drivers wait, ready for a standing start here at Bathurst.
20 drivers from the Australia club, only 2 from UK and Ireland. So it is a heavy field full of Aussies. And we know these Australians are super fast. These are their cars and their track.
Certainly is, yes. It's renowned as very much an Antipodean speciality, the V8 Supercar Championship. Many drivers from Australia and across the Tasman to from New Zealand as well. Of course, Scott McLaughlin, the reigning Bathurst 1000 champion, and a very accomplished sim racer as well. We might well see him competing in the sim racing version of the Bathurst 1000, perhaps before taking on the real world version in a couple of weeks' time. A good, nice, even split there on the field. We've got Holden on pole position, and then 3 Fords, and then another Holden in 5th. Of course, Holden, the brand, no longer going to be with us after the end of next year as we wait for drivers to grid up. This is interesting.
Very interesting. Top 3 don't hit the grid, but we are green flag racing at Bathurst. All the cars get underway, some scrapping down in the back as they head through turn number 1, Hell's Corner. The 77 of Mario Vartanayan will lead them through Hell's Corner and down the straightaway, the mountain straight for the first time. The 55 off track, multiple cars missing Hell Corner, but coming down mountain straight. Everybody looks good, some cars in the grass, but we got a side-by-side battle for the lead.
Yeah, Mario Vartanainen up the inside in his Holden with the Ford of Cohenatard right behind as they head through Corrie Bend for the first time, heading up towards the cutting, very difficult braking zone here. You've got to just take it patiently. When these cars are on cold tyres, they have very, very, very little grip. And you just got to be so careful getting on the power here, heading up through the hill. But clean start for the leaders so far, but we had many drivers missing from the start of this race, all having to start from pit lane. I'm not sure what happened there, Josh.
The scrap of 4 cars in the back and have a lot of time and a lot of moves to make as they make their way back up through the field. With his lead pack right now, Mario Vartanayan and Cohen Adder going at it for P1. The 77 still leading the way as they make their way through the S's into the Dipper for the first time this race. Maybe a little bit of contact on that right side as everybody gets through well. Some battles in the back, but majority of the field right now single file as they all just try and make it through this back section.
Yeah, steady start from Scott Newton for Apex Racing Team as well. He's in 6th. But look at that, Brady Myers, number 22, he's in 18th place after qualifying on pole position starting from pit lane for whatever reason. Maybe just got a little bit, wasn't at the start in time, but we'll watch for that 22 Holden to cut through the field as the day goes on. That's going to be exciting for us to watch. But Vartanainen in the 77 Holden, this Iridium car, leading so far. And, well, I tell you what, on cold tyres, this pace looks really hot, Josh.
Everybody gets through the first lap okay. Don't believe we had any cars go off track and into the pits with damage. And the 77 leads the first lap as everybody makes their way back through Hell's Corner. 39 more of those to go. It is a long and grueling lap, and you got to do so many of them on this course.
Just to put it in perspective of how hot the pace is at the front, a 2-minute 10 from a standing start. That is absolutely extraordinary pace from a standing start on cold tyres. As we see the number, we see all the field working their way back up here. There's Brady Myers, our pole sitter in the 22. So these are a number of the guys that started from pit lane, I presume. So let's have a look at what happened here. We're looking at Matt Knight, who started at the back of the grid. He's got Brady Myers behind him, and now he gets a big help from Brady Myers there. So that the way, of course, we have live stewarding today, so that might, well, this could be a disastrous start for Brady Myers. He might get a penalty for that.
We will keep an eye on the iRacing chat in our chat for Apex Racing TV and the Discord to make sure that we are keeping up to date on all the stewards' decisions as Matthew Feldman damage almost hits multiple other cars, but it looks like he gets it back going. Now just trying to get out of the way of these fast cars as Brady Myers splits the decision along the two cars.
Wow, that was some presence of mind there from Brady Myers just to avoid all the slower cars in front. But this is what happens here at Bathurst. Keeping the car out the barrier for 40 laps is such a challenge. That's part of the challenge here. It's just, as you can see, the walls are so close. Just one little touch on the wall and you're in big, big trouble. So riding on board then with Brady Myers in the Logitech Holden then, coming through, you can see two cars going slowly. Oh no, he goes to the right. Oh, threads the eye of the needle. Wow, brilliant presence of mind from our pole sitter.
And that just shows how fast he is too. You can see him catching multiple cars as he just tries to weed his way through. It looks like a leader going through lap traffic at Le Mans.
Yeah, it really does. It certainly does. Looking now at the 41 of Dyson. He's Andrew Dyson, he's got some good pace as well at the wheel of that Ford Mustang. He was putting in some consistent 2-minute 4-second lap times in practice, so watch for him to come through the pack as well. But just such a bizarre start to this race with a number of drivers starting from pit lane. And Myers, he's already up to 12th place already, 16 seconds back from the leader. So let's need to watch how that goes. Oh, it's the 33 of Daniel Aish. He's off and he's had a big hit there, and it looks like, is he going to get going again? Looks like he is. Unfortunately, just in an awkward position where he can't get into pit lane. So let's see what happens here. Coming into Hill Corner, just asks for the power that little bit early, and these cars have so much horsepower that if you ask for it just that little bit too early, they certainly do not like it.
We do have a word from the stewards on that incident involving Meyer and Knight, and they have reviewed it. It is seen as a racing incident, so no penalty for Meyer. He can continue to dice his way up to the field, already up to 11th after starting down in 19th.
Yeah, I think that's a good call there from the stewards. There's no malice involved, that's for sure. Just one of those things that can happen. But this is a brilliant onboard shot here, thanks to our producer Marco Barbonera through Forest Elbows and well down the Conrod straight, opening up all that power. He's in the draft here of one of the Holdens in front, riding on board with Brown in the 18 machine behind Antoneff in the 12 Holden, down the Conrod straight towards the chase. Really, really scary this bit is here. You want to use all the road on the left and then cut back and then hard on the brakes as Antoneff goes defensive, and you can do that here at the chase and not lose too much time.
And he got a lot of time made up on that straightaway. He is now on the back bumper of the 12. He's looking to make a move through Murray's, and he goes to the outside, but he's going to touch the grass, and around goes Lachie Brown.
It did well there to keep that out the wall and actually get the car pointed back. So a little bit of a mistake, but no harm. It's good if you can avoid damage to the car at all costs. That's the secret here at Bathurst. If you can get to the end of the race with your car with no damage, you will be there at the end. As you see, wow, Brady Myers puts in the fastest lap of the race from 11th place, 2 minute 5.385. That is very, very quick in race trim. All the cars around him lapping 2 to 3, sometimes 4 seconds slower. Unbelievable stuff. Now, look at this on the right-hand side of our screen. We have the track temperature on the bottom right, 42 degrees centigrade for the track temperature. That's very, very high, and that'll make the surface very, very greasy and slick, which, well, that's one thing these cars don't need. They don't have a lot of grip to start with, but with a high track temperature, they really slither and skid around.
For all the North Americans here, that is 107.6 degrees Fahrenheit. Just had to Google that, but you're looking at the 144 of Kessler Mack, and he just got passed by Brady Myers as he continues to weed his way up through the field. Now in 11th is Kester, as another move made by Myers on Jason Hook to grab up 9th. So he is just dicing his way through cars right now. It looks like he is just having a field day right now, passing slower cars. It looks like he might have an extra couple horsepower.
Yeah, he's incredibly quick, is Brady Myers. But if you look at the time to the leader, that's what he's got to worry about. He is not making any time up to the leader, Vartanainen. And that is the critical point, is that he needs to be cutting that time down. At the moment, it's hovering around 16 seconds. But on the other hand, the fact that he's able to maintain the pace of the leaders whilst cutting through the field shows you how much pace he's got underneath that Holden.
We really can judge his speed once he gets into clean air. In any motorsport, we know when you're running behind a car, you're not in the slipstream, you're in the dirty air, and all it is doing is upsetting your car and making it almost impossible to drive. So we need to make sure when Brady Myers gets into clean air that we watch that time as he makes another pass on Schweikert as he heads through Murray's corner back onto the front straightaway. He is a man on a mission right now.
Driving like a man possessed, that is for sure, as we see the 55 car of Luke Rosella going by in that black Fanatec Ford Mustang. Wonderful looking car. Of course, the Ford Mustang, 2-door coupe style, the Holden Commodore a 4-door. Unfortunately, the Holden Commodore and the Holden brand being shut down. Oh, big wiggle from Scott Newton. Big wiggle. Can he keep it out the wall? Wow, that was really impressive there from Scott Newton. Got really, really squirrely on the brakes there. Locked up and managed to modulate the brake pedal and somehow keep it out of the wall there at Quarry Bend. That was impressive car control there from Scott Newton.
Great car control, and also a great opportunity for Simon Ferriss as that 315 gains a spot, but Scott Newton wants it back. He is about a car length and a half back from him. He's going to have a passing opportunity through the S's and into the dipper.
Oh, huge oversteer in front from Ferriss in the Holden. We're getting really, really loose and shaky. Now, that is just normal for one of these V8 supercars. That's what makes them such a unique challenge and so exciting to watch. You can just watch onboards of these cars all day long, and I'd urge anybody watching after this to watch the onboard clip of Scott McLaughlin setting pole position for last year's Bathurst 1000. It is absolutely mind-blowing. As we've seen Scott Newton back in the draft there of his fellow Holden driver, and look at this, Brady Myers just carving his way through the field, now up to 7th position already. Remember, he started from pit lane after qualifying on pole, started from pit lane, and he's already up to 7th after just 5 laps. Josh, that is absolutely astounding.
It is absolutely mad pace right now from Brady Myers, and you gotta think are Ferriss and Newton hearing the Jaws theme right now, as here comes that Logitech Esports driver in that 22. And Ferriss did fall victim to Scott Newton as he gets that spot back and now looking to run away, but there's the 22, and he is just inching ever closer. Every corner it seems like he's making up half a second.
Yeah, absolutely, just carving time out there. Look at that relative time at the bottom of our screen, sometimes carving over 3 seconds a lap. That is just mind-blowing. But here at Bathurst, it's such a unique challenge, and when you're going over the mountain, there is so much time that can be gained and lost. And when you spend a lot of time on track here, you cannot believe, when you first put a couple of laps in, you cannot believe where the lap time's going to come from, but eventually it does. We see that in the real world Bathurst 1000 as the week progresses through practice. The drivers when they first turn up, they think, I've no idea how I'm going to get to my qualifying time, but they do. It's just that sort of circuit.
You can see the sector times down on the bottom of your screen right now, live by sector. 2/10 was the difference between Myers and Ferriss. Myers faster. And then last sector, sector 2, 5/10 off of Ferriss was Myers. And you can see him just inching ever closer by corner. And he is going to be within striking distance as they come through the S's and into the Dipper. He looked not able to get that hole.
Yeah, this is where Brady Myers just have to be a little bit patient. He's got so much pace in that car that really this is where he's just got to take his time, and he'll be able to get a draft by on the Conrod straight. And down we go then onto the Conrod straight. He should be able to get this move done down into the chase. But in the last 2 laps, Myers has taken 5 seconds out of the leaders. He's now only 11.5 seconds away from the leaders, and of course has more track position as well. But Ferriss goes to he's going to try and cover the inside line. Oh, contact, there you go, Brady Myers. That's that patience we were talking about, but wow, somehow keeps the car on a straight line over the sand. But well, that was a little bit unnecessary, you would say.
He tried to get that space on the inside, and it looked like he might have had it for a second, but it closed up and nothing he could do. He was already there on the back bumper, and it looked like Ferriss was not as involved in that incident as Myers was. Myers was the one that went through the grass. That 315 is still trying to hunt down Newton in front.
Yeah, that was an interesting one, actually, looking at that replay from behind there. Simon Ferriss in the 315, he seemed to be applying the brake pedal and just applying little touches of the brake pedal through the chase, which, to be honest, a little bit earlier what you would expect for someone of his pace. So I don't want to get my conspiracy theory going, but there did seem like maybe a little bit of just a dab of the brake there, just to maybe unsettle Myers, but only speculation, of course.
Taking a look at your leader, Mario Vartanayan behind Cohen Addard. Your top 2 right now, the 77 and the 131, commanding this race. They were the ones that started on provisional pole in second place after the top 3, I should say, did not go onto the grid. So a 4th and 5th starter became the pole sitter in second place when they dropped the green flag. So taking a look at the 2 Sim Rigs teammates, Briggs and Dyson, sitting 9th and 10th, also trying to carve their way through the field. They started in the pits along with Myers.
Yeah, now Adam Briggs has a lot of pace as well underneath that Mustang as well, but he's got a lot of damage. You look to the left-hand side and the right-hand side, he's got a lot of damage to that car. Now, we must also tell our viewers about the other drivers all have one iRacing fast repair, as we see now. Here we go, another replay. 1 lap later, Myers goes to the inside. Through he goes.
Live pass from Myers. He gets that spot. Same place. He completed the pass. This time he had that inside and was able to grab that spot. He now is in P6. Just chasing the leaders. There's contact between the 696 and the 4 car.
Wow, that was very, very aggressive there coming out of the chase between these 2 drivers. Wow, very, very close there. That's Jason Hook in front in the Holden. We're riding on board with the 696 of Damon Stockton in the Ford, and oh, just a little bit of a wiggle there coming out of Murray. He's just getting that power down, and look at Stockton's got the run now. He goes to the inside. He's going to get this done into Hill Corner, shoves the Mustang up the inside and gets the move done.
Stockton up to P12. Jason Hoek down into 13th, exactly where he started. As Phil McDougall looks on, he might have an opportunity to make a pass on either one of these cars as they head down Mountain straight and into Griffin's Bend. And there goes the 4 peek into the inside. Not going to make anything happen.
Yep. So
just 1 car wide.
Oh,
that was Phil McDougall. He overshot that corner.
Yeah, that corner there at Quarry Bend, that wall is just magnetic. It just gathers up race cars in there. It's just so easy to run wide as we see, whoa, the 83 swirling around, getting onto the power there as the 83 car of, now who is that? That is McDougall, sorry, my apologies. well, just really struggling to get the power down in that Mustang. But while we've got a little brief moment in the action, our drivers do have the option of one iRacing fast repair, so they can come into pit lane and basically take an instant fix. But we are expecting the drivers to only need one pit stop, so those with just minor damage will probably want to wait until they take their trip into pit lane anyway to take fuel and tyres and then get the repair done at that time. As we see Brady Myers going alongside Scott Newton. Scott Newton just basically moves across and just lets him go. That's the wise thing to do when someone's just so much quicker than the rest of the field.
Myers creeps into the top 5, 11 seconds now back from the leader. The stewards did say before they dropped the green flag there will be a random safety car between laps 5 and 32. And they are within that window right now. And we can assume these cars can make it around 23, 24 laps on fuel. So if that caution or that safety car comes out with around 23, 24 laps to go, expect these drivers to take that pit stop, that fast repair, those tires, that fuel during that safety car so they don't lose too much track position on pit road.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, that'll be the time to do it. And of course, when the pace car comes out, it's a long lap around here at Bathurst at Mount Panorama. So yeah, plenty of time to get that pit stop done. So we'll see how that happens. But if it comes out early, as we see 41 of Dyson up the inside at Quarry Bend, good move there in the Ford Mustang. The 41 machine, he's making good moves up the field in that car. But yes, if the pace car comes out too early, of course, then the drivers will have to just sit and wait and then take their pit stop later on. So it's going to be fascinating to see when that competition caution happens.
Look at the leader, Mario Vartanian, in that 77, almost drifting through the dipper now. As he works lap number 9. And there's the comparison between him and Myers. And you can see how much faster Myers is in that one lap where he made the mistake, lap 4, 1 second behind. But ever since then, he has been gaining time on the leader, and Myers sits 9.4 seconds back from the leader. But Mario Vartanian is doing a great job at holding his own pace, using that clean air to his advantage, and running smooth laps to keep his lead.
Absolutely, yeah. This is a really, really impressive drive from Vartanian, and like you say here, just running that consistent pace. You look at that, 206, 207. Okay, there's a 210 there as well, but another 207, then another 207. So his pace is really consistent, and of course, you never know, he might even think, well, perhaps I want to try and make the tyres last the whole race. That would be very difficult to do because these cars do wear their tyres out quite heavily because of the weight and the horsepower, and of course the high track temperature that we have. But you never know what Vartanian might have up his sleeve.
And he continues to do a great job leading the way. He doesn't need to be that fast. He just needs to not make any mistakes. And he is racing so smoothly right now as we have a battle for third between the 55 and the 12 on the outside. Rosella trying to make the move happen, but Xander Antonoff on the inside gets that spot back, so the 55 gonna have to make a move going through the second and third sectors.
Yeah, Rosella really charging hard in this black Ford Mustang. He had some really good pace in practice, did a lot of laps in practice as well, probably the hardest working driver in practice. 9 laps in the 2-minute 5 bracket, so he has a lot of pace under that race car when you consider that the leader is running 207s right now. So he has really strong, probably podium pace at the wheel of that Mustang right now.
But he does need to get by these cars as Rosella continues to work on the 12. And you can see peeking behind, guess who it is? Brady Myers in the 22. Watching all this happen as Rosella gets loose, loses the back end through that corner. And here comes the 22, now a 3-car fight.
Yeah, this is where it's going to get very spicy indeed, because although Myers has the pace of the field, Rosella is quick as well. But Antoniev no slouch either. Down Conrod we go. We're right on board with the Holden of Brady Myers, our standout driver of the day, the pole sitter with a 2-minute 3.5. Oh, Myers goes to the inside. He sends it up the inside of Rosella. Rosella gives him the room, very wise indeed, but that's pushed Rosella back a little, and oh, Antoniev Wow, how on earth did he keep that one out the barrier?
He got the save, and he's going to have the dominant line through Murray's corner. Going to keep that spot from the 22, but he's going to make the crossover happen to the inside. And here comes the 55. He looked 3 wide, decided against it. 2 wide into L's corner, and Myers is going to take over that 3rd spot. The 22 is in podium range.
Drag race up the mountain straight, and Rosella goes by, just gets that better exit out of Hill Corner and jumps past both of them. What a move from Rosella in the Ford Mustang. And look at this is an excellent battle. Now Brady Myers, he was not expecting this as Antoniev sticks his nose up the inside, and whoa, big oversteer moment from Myers. Wow. Jeez, and this is what's going to happen for Myers. Although he's got a lot of pace, the further up the field he goes, the more fierce the battle is going to be. These guys, they are not going to move over for Brady Myers. Make no mistake about that. And look at Rosella in the Mustang. He's now absolutely deploying that pace, knowing that if he can put in some qualifying laps now, he can try to escape.
This is awesome to see from these drivers and from Brady Myers working his way from the back to the front. But we also have to think, how worn are those tires now on that 22, as he has had to do a lot of racing throughout this first part of this race. We're only on lap 11 of 40. They're only going to have 1 pit stop. You need to take care of those tires.
Yeah, absolutely, but he's kind of left with no choice starting from pit lane. I mean, amazing that we're, what are we, 22 minutes into this race and already up fighting for the podium, having started from pit lane. That is just extraordinary, but I think he's going to have a really stern battle on his hands here with Luke Rosella in the Ford Mustang. And this is what we love, V8 supercar racing. Ford versus Holden. Probably the most divisive rivalry anywhere in the world in motor racing. You're either a Ford person or you're a Holden person. Let us know in the YouTube comments where you stand. At the moment, Holden leading, the 77 of Vartanainen, but then 2 Ford Mustangs. But brilliant racing here at Mount Panorama in this Bathurst 250 here in the Apex Racing League.
So Myers has caught up to Rosella, but that 55 has some good pace. Maybe not faster than Myers' pace, but it's enough pace to keep Myers behind him. So we have 1 car coming off of pit lane. That's the 74, that Holden machine of Matt Knight, as he fixes his damage that he got earlier, coming back onto the racetrack. As Brady Myers wins the drag race over Luke Rosella. Now up into 3rd is the 22.
Yeah, Brady Myers absolutely charging there. Got a good exit out of Hill Corner and made the move stick down up the mountain straight. So really, really good move there. Now, what are we seeing here? This is Lockie Brown in the 18 Mustang. Coming down the brakes into the chase, and just gets a little bit loose there on the braking, just overshot. Now he's coming back onto the track here. Be careful. There's another car there. There's just the 84 car there of Dave Feldman, just getting a little bit loose behind as well. And Lockie Brown, whoa, that's a good demonstration of just how much power these cars have as well. Now, for Rosella in the 55 Mustang, he really, if he can try to hang on to Myers, it would really help him to drag him up there into the podium battle. But look at the pace of Myers over the mountain. He really is the king of the mountain today, because that is where he's making up all of that lap time.
7.5 seconds now back from the leader, Mario Vartanainen. You can see the top 2 in front of him as he continues to track him down. Cohen Addard is his next victim, only about 3 seconds up the road. You can see him right behind as this battle between Newton is starting to heat up. That's Dyson behind as they make their way into the chase down into Murray's corner. No move made from the 41 of Dyson. Will he make it going into Murray's? Did not see enough room for him, and he keeps it single file as they take another lap here on to lap 13. Will he make a move going into hell? So many passing opportunities down on the non-mountain part of this circuit, but he's not going to make anything happen just now. Dyson's going to try and chase him through the mountain.
Yep, up the mountain straight we go then. Ford versus Holden. Identical power, identical technical package, just different body in these cars. And it looks like Dyson might have the look here. He goes to the inside. Scott Newton has another wiggle on the brakes. He's going to do well to keep this one out. Just shows you how physical these cars are. You saw Scott Newton's car take a big twitch there. And if it looked like a big twitch outside the car, you can't imagine what it's like on board the car as we see the 379 of McDonald going up the inside of Hook in the 4 Holden as well. 13 laps down here at Bathurst.
Currently still inching closer to halfway done with this race. 40 laps at Bathurst seems like a marathon for each of these drivers. So you're looking at Grant Matterford in the 379 on Jason Hoek. And Hoek gets loose, and around goes the 379 on the outside. Another spot made up for Matt Matterford. He is up 4 spots from where he originally started back in 18th.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Brady Myers is absolutely carving time out of Attard in the 131 Ford, really moving up the pack very, very swiftly indeed. And you look at this, just how physical it is coming down through the dipper and the S's. Now look at this, we're looking at Dyson in the 41 machine. He's on a charge in his Ford Mustang. Down towards the chase they go, passes the number 12 of Xavier Antioneff, and Dyson makes the move stick. Very, very clean, very, very tidy, very, very impressive. And speaking of impressive, Brady Myers, do not forget, he started from pit lane and he is right on the back of the 131 of Attard. And if he can get this move done, looks like he's maybe going to take, yeah, he's just going to try and get the good move out of Hell Corner here and then make the move stick over the mountain straight. But there you can see Vartanainen, the leader, he's now in sight of Brady Myers. Game on.
There goes Myers, the peak to the inside, going into Griffin's Bend. Turn 2, here they go, the hard braking zone. Hard right-hander, and Myers gets it, P2. He is now going to chase down the leader in the 77. He has gone from pit lane to second place in this race, all in 14 laps. What a drive!
Is one of the best drives I've seen in any sim race this season, or this year actually I should say. Unbelievable performance so far from Brady Myers in the 22 Holden. To make, I mean, like you said, Josh, here over the mountain section, there's virtually no overtaking opportunities. You've got to get all your overtaking moves done on the bottom section of the circuit. But Brady Myers has just carved through the field, a very competitive field of cars. And well, I'd run out of superlatives already to describe how impressive this drive has been. As the 83 of McDougall goes a little bit wide there. So we're looking at Scott Newton on this replay. What has happened to the number 13 of Scott Newton of Apex Racing Team? Hard on the brakes into Murray's, and just gets a little bit late on the brakes and into the barrier. Scott.
He was able to dig it out of that sand, though, and right back onto the racetrack. Doesn't look like too much damage on that Apex Racing Team Holden car. There's a battle beginning to heat up between Rosella and Attard. This is the battle for P3. The battle for a spot on that podium, the 131, with overall faster pace throughout the beginning part of this race, but Rosella has gotten faster as the run has gone on, and he is going to look for that third spot. Made a peek to the inside. Not enough speed, not close enough just yet. About a car length difference. He gets a good drive coming off of Hell's Corner. He will have a good drive through the mountain straight. And this is where that horsepower comes in. 2 Fords screaming down the straightaway.
Yeah, big Detroit horsepower here coming up the hill towards Quarry Bend. But Attard able to defend. Rosella just got a little bit of oversteer coming out of Hell Corner. Very, very difficult bend at the first corner here at Bathurst, as we see, this battle still going on between the 72 car of Adam Briggs, who put in some fast pace in qualifying, in practice, and the 72 car, the 12 car of Xavier Antoneff. Holden versus Ford here. He flashes the lights. Not happy with that move, obviously.
He's going to have another chance at it. They make their way through the beginning part of the mountain section. Very soon they'll be in the S's as they make their way through Skyline into the S's, fast part of this racetrack. There's the 72 just of Adam Briggs, just looking behind, waiting for his opportunity to pounce. There he goes through the S's. Had a chance to get on his back bumper, decided against it. There you go through the dipper, just maintaining that space. Not exactly passing him, but not letting him get too far away. So when he has an opportunity, he's going to try and take it, as they'll get dumped through Ferriss, elbow down the Conrad straight. As down the Conrad straight as well goes the 55 to the inside of the 131 through the hard right-hander.
Great move there from Rosella at the chase. Really well set up down the Conrad straight, and here comes another move down the Conrad straight from the 72. Big contact, big contact. That is an extraordinary piece of car control there from Antonev. Well, I hope we can get a replay of that, because that was extraordinary to gather up that big hold in there coming through the chase. That's the fastest point in the whole circuit there on the brake. So let's get a look at this then. So Antonev on the left hand side there in the 12, he's on the inside line, so it gets set up there coming out of Ferriss' elbow. So 12 of Antonev in front, the 72 Adam Briggs behind in the Mustang. Briggs has got a little bit of a run there in the Mustang. He's going to have a look to the inside here. He does, and they go side by side through the chase. That doesn't fit, and then Antonev actually gets a bit in the grass and gets a little bit loose into the side of Briggs, and just about hangs on to it, but that could have been a huge accident.
How on earth did he hold on to that car as he basically used the 72 as a brake, and around goes the 72, drifting through Hell's Corner, didn't go fully around, was able to keep that car under him. But in the grass for a second, that 12 car of Xander Antonev is going to take that spot, as we're right back up to the battle between Rosella and now Adder behind, as Rosella goes right into the wall, and there goes Adder right on by for P3.
Yeah, just got a bit of a mistake there from Rosella coming into the cutting. It's a very tricky corner to double left-hander. You're trying to slow the car down whilst turning in, and that car will really not like that, and you get very, very easy to lock up on the brakes. But Rosella has got onto the back of Vittard very, very quickly again. So he's clearly still got the brilliant pace in that car. So whatever damage he has, it's pretty light after that little brush with the wall. But back at the front, Brady Myers has got that gap down to less than a second to Vartanainen. I mean, I just cannot believe this. After lap 16, 34 minutes into this race, Brady Myers, having started from pit lane, is already beside Vartanainen. And look at the right-hand side of Vartanainen's holding. He's had a little brush with the wall somewhere.
Well, here we go. The battle we've been waiting for. The driver who started on the pole after 4 cars started in the pits. Drag race down the mountain straight. The inside, the 22 of Brady Myers. Outside, Mario Vartanainen in the 77. And there goes Myers from pit lane to the lead on lap 17.
Wow. Unbelievable stuff. I don't know how to say it. Look at this, Rosella looking to the outside. This is a very risky maneuver here from Rosella in the 55 Mustang around Attard, but now he has the inside line, but Attard closes the door, heading through to the cutting, and look, the 41 of Dyson has come to join this battle. So brilliant battle here between the Mustangs in the midfield, the mid part of the top 10. This is the battle for 3rd, 4th and 5th. So one of these guys battling to get that last spot on the podium right now.
I mean, just that camera angle is one of my favorite. You can really see the speed these drivers are carrying through these sections. I mean, it just looks like they're just flying right through the forest like a rally car.
Yeah, the finesse required and the skill required to get the optimum lap time out of these cars is extraordinary. There have been some very high-profile drivers who have come over to race in this particular series and have gone home with their tail between their legs, because the local drivers, the Antipodean drivers from Australia and New Zealand, well, they just have this skill locked down. This is one of the biggest sports in Australia and New Zealand as well, right up there. It's kind of like as big as NASCAR is in the US. Really, really big series. Oh, Dyson gets a look at the movement on the steering wheel there from Dyson in that Ford. He gets the move done on Rosella. Wonder if we could get a replay of the onboard from Dyson there in the 41 car. Unbelievable working on the steering wheel there. Just about gathers it together. Just shows you, this is Bathurst, folks. This is V8 supercar racing at its best at this wonderful circuit. And a Tard comes into pit lane.
The 131 down in the pit lane, wondering if this is his one pit stop that he is going to take. And will that set off the strategies for every other car? Here's the move with Dyson on a Rosella. You can see just so much speed carrying down the Conrad straight.
Oh,
he held on to that just barely.
That's got to be move of the day for me. That is absolutely extraordinary to get the car slowed down and stop it from spinning. I mean, wow. You know, one thing I always say, Josh, the great thing what I love about sim racing and commentating on sim racing and watching it is the great thing is that after the race you can switch on your iRacing, get in this car and on this circuit and have a go. And you can see just how impressive these drivers are. Look at their lap times, look at your lap times, and just these are really, really tricky cars to handle. And Dyson, well, that was an awesome piece of car control there. If you think this is just a game, it is not. This is proper serious sim racing.
So Dyson in the 41 continues to work through the mountain section after getting past Rosella on that last lap. He sits in third. One of the cars that started in pit road with Brady Myers. As did the 77 get turned around there. He's working his way back up through the gears. Let's see what happened. For Mario Vartanayan led so much of this race before Brady Myers came up, took that lead, and coming through for his elbow. Just trying to get a little too much power down too early. Like you said earlier, Peter, these cars have so much power, and they're basically just gigantic bricks of metal with overpowered engines inside.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like you say, trying to drive a speedboat with a space shuttle engine. It's really, really tricky. But Brady Myers has mastered this already, 7.8 seconds ahead. Look at that pace, 206.3, 205.9, 206.6. 206.2 and 205.9. That is extraordinary pace, but when you consider that he was doing a 203.5 in qualifying, just shows you just how impressive that is. Now, a number of the drivers now, like you said, absolutely spot on, Josh, that is triggered. A Tard's pit stop has triggered the rest of the drivers to come in. So, what this means is that all of the drivers come in and have their pit stops now. That caution comes out later. That's going to bunch the field all back up together, and we know that cautions usually breed cautions.
So Adam Briggs, Luke Rosella, and Xander Antanayev all come down pit road for their pit stops. 4 tires, fuel, and some damage repair for each of those drivers before they head back out onto the racetrack. Like you said, Peter, when that safety car comes out, it's going to do nothing but bunch up these cars. And I think we will see some drivers try and stretch their strategies out to where they can pit during that safety car and don't need to pit so early, as there goes Rosella right out, and Kester Mack comes into pit road joining these cars. There goes the 72 now, making their way out of pit road, and the 12. All 3 of those drivers that we watched come down, all making their way back out of pit road onto lap 19.
Yeah, but look at this, they're into traffic. This is where you've got to be really careful of with your pit stop, is where not only when you come into pit lane, but where that's going to throw you out. And of course, but these drivers now, they've been running for 40 minutes. They will be getting to the end of their fuel. So a lot of drivers will be forced to come into pit lane to take their stop. But no pit stops yet from Myers, Vartanayan, or Dyson. And look at the pace of Dyson just rolling in. Vartanayan here. So Dyson in the Ford, well, he's the top Ford right now in the 41 machine and really got very good pace as Vartanayan comes into pit lane, and he'll be coming in to get new tyres and a big fresh fill of fuel.
77 is in. That'll give Andrew Dyson second place. Both Myers and Dyson have not even touched pit road tonight except for when they started this race, as they started in pit lane. First and second now exactly scored as they would have if they were on the grid when we started this race. Myers and Dyson qualified 1 and 2. They now race 1 and 2 as Scott Newton pulls into third place after Vartanian came down into pit road. So pit strategy starting to begin, as next time by we will be halfway completed with this race. You're watching the Apex Racing League Bathurst 250 here on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV. We're glad you're joining us. We hope you stay around for the remainder of this race. Still halfway of racing to go, and we have seen some exciting moves so far here in Bathurst. And once that mandatory safety car punches up this field, Peter, I think we're going to see a lot more moves happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, Andrew Dyson, this is brilliant to watch, just him hustling this Ford Mustang over the mountain. Now look at this. This is very busy as well. Vartanian and Attard. Look at Attard in the 131 car. He goes past Vartanian, so Vartanian just falling back a little bit. And they go side by side into Quarry Bend. Very, very tight in there. And Vartanian takes the place back in his holding. And that's allowed the 83 of McDougall to go by as well.
This three-car battle as they make their way through the mountain section. The 77, 83. Behind them is that 131. All racing for P6. The 77 scored in 6th, 83 in 7th, and 8th goes to the 131 as contact. McDougall in the wall. Adder put the 83 right into the wall. Not enough room for that move, as here comes Luke Rosella now looking to make a move on the 83 after that mistake from the 131. What on earth happened there? Rosella gonna go right around the 83.
Yeah, this is interesting. Now remember, McDougall has not pitted yet, but he still has the track position, so he has no need to move out the way. But that was a stern move there from the 131 of Attard. Interesting to see what the stewards make of that one. As our leader is in pit lane, Brady Myers comes in for his pit stop.
Newton's also in. Stockton also is in. So the top four all into pit road right at the halfway mark of this race, right as expected.
So it's all happening here at Bathurst, that Mount Panorama drama, as we've come to expect at this incredible circuit. As we see a number of drivers coming in to take their pit stops now. When are we going to get this? We know that we're going to get a competition caution. The safety car will come out before lap 32. So in the next 20 minutes or so, anytime in the next 20 minutes or so, we will see that come out. And Brady Myers now, having started from pit lane, has a lead of 16 seconds at the front of this motor race. Absolutely extraordinary. He has been in another planet.
Word from the stewards, drive-through penalty for Cohen Addard in the 131 for heavy contact. So that was the penalty for putting the 83 into the wall. Addard's going to have a drive-through penalty. That is going to set him very far back in this race. And here's the replay, what the stewards looked at to reach that decision. Going through the mountain section, he made a look to the inside right there. Did not leave enough room.
Yeah, it's kind of all one line there through over the mountain. It was clearly frustrated to be stuck behind in the traffic there. And maybe made a move that maybe wasn't quite there, and yeah, he's going to pay the price for it, and that's going to drop Attard out of the competition for the podium places. Now, for him, he needs to maybe try and get this drive-through penalty served before the caution comes out, and make sure it's out the way so that he can still get back in the bunch when the caution does come out. So he'll need to serve this straight away.
The battles continue through the midfield. That mountain section really bunches everybody up, and they kind of spread out once they come out of that mountain section. But through Hell's Corner, turn 1, and down the mountain straight, that really starts to get the bunching process going. And then through the mountain section, they are so close together like rally cars going through that section. And then down the Conrad straight, everybody then starts to spread out. And then the Chase and Murray's Corner is when they're the most spread out. You really got to have a fast car to get to somebody's bumper, as there goes Adder serving that drive-through penalty.
Yeah, thankfully at Bathurst here, it's quite a short pit lane. So if you are serving a drive-through penalty, it's well, no drive-through penalty is nice, but at least it's a short pit lane. As we see, 55 of Rosella going past the lap car there. That's the 84 machine of Diane Feldman. My apologies. In her holding, you see Dyson. He's really on the charge now. This is going to be a great battle. Rosella and Dyson side by side, the two Ford Mustangs. Dyson goes past with ease and into third spot.
Dyson is one of those cars that we have seen and we have followed throughout today's broadcast, but he is just so fast, and the raw pace of him, Myers, Briggs, you can even include Rosella in that, Mario Vartanayan, all just so fast, and they have that raw pace that you really need to get a good position and a good finish in this race. And I think it's all going to come down to when the safety car comes out, how they are able to battle once everyone gets bunched up again, and if they can make the right moves to get that car onto the podium, because there is a solid 6 or 7 cars all with podium pace.
Absolutely. As we're trying to call who's going to finish on the podium here is going to be very, very tough indeed. We'll have to wait and see. Now, this is interesting. Cohenatard has served his drive-through penalty, so he's now in 8th spot, so dropped back about 4 spots. But of course, when we get that caution, he's going to be bunched right back up again. He'll still be in the same track position, of course, but time-wise, he'll be right up there. He's going to get about probably a 20-second boost, basically get his drive-through penalty back again. So it's actually, timing-wise for Cohenatard, actually not too bad. So he's kind of got away with that little mistake there. As we see, Brady Myers puts in his fastest lap of the race so far, 2:05.0. That is really, really quick in race trim. Now, yeah, the 41 of Dyson, he's really impressed me. I was watching him in practice. Didn't do too many laps in practice, but every lap that he did, when he did go out, he was straight into the 2-minute and 4-second bracket. So he has a lot of pace as he puts in his fastest lap of the race, 2:05.4. So not far off the pace of Myers.
And the 41 of Andrew Dyson has re-caught Mario Vartanian. And right on by down the mountain straight. He got a great run going down the hill and used that momentum to his advantage. Andrew Dyson now back up into second.
Yeah, that was mirror signal maneuver straight by, and Dyson, well, I tell you what, this isn't over. Brady Myers has got a lot of pace, but Dyson is close enough to really make him think about it. And of course, when we get this competition caution in the next 9 laps, anytime in the next 9 laps, whoa, yes, look at that from Andrew Dyson. Big oversteer, big slides, fantastic, spectacular stuff here at Bathurst. Now, when they bunch together, they'll be right beside one another after the caution, and it will be fascinating to see if Dyson can get into Myers' head and try and slow him up a bit.
And the question is, can Dyson reach Myers before that safety car comes out? Because we know they will be bunched up then. But if he can get as close as possible to him now, he can make that move before the safety car comes out and then use the safety car to his advantage to try and keep the lead and defend better than trying. Because I think what it's going to take to beat Brady Myers is a lot of defense. Because we've seen Brady Myers on offense. He is one of the best offensive drivers in this field. Whether that's skill, whether that's raw pace, he is just on the offensive all the time. He can get it done that way. And I think defending against Brady Myers is going to be easier than letting him just get you on offense.
Well, he's got 20.6 seconds to make up if he wants to do that, which is going to be hard. Myers putting in a 2-minute 4.9, fastest lap of the race so far. First one below the 2-minute 5 bracket, so Myers really starting to get it in a groove now, but he is going to lose that whole 20-second advantage that he has built. Don't forget, starting from pit lane, viewers, unbelievable stuff. But Dyson, who's 20 seconds back, that gap is going to be eroded completely when we get this competition caution.
Back down the mountain straight, the 55 of Luke Rosella with a nice run. Did not get to the 77's bumper to make that move through Griffin's Bend. They'll get up through the cutting as the 55 snaking looking for any opportunity to try and get a pass on the 77, but not able to get there. He is going to have to stay behind him as they head up into the mountain.
Interestingly, Attard has made up a couple of spots. He's up to 6th place right now, so he will be able to join this battle after the caution. Well, we look at Vartanainen. He's defending really, really well from the charging Rosella over the mountain section. We go now. They're going in single file here. You've really got to trust the car in front. You've got to be right on the same braking point so to get a little scrape off the wall there. This is fantastic stuff. Down through Skyline and the Dipper where the car goes so light. You're virtually falling down the mountain here as they head down towards Forest Elbow. Really, really tight. The watching the brake doesn't pinch and lock up there, and then back on the power down Conrod Straight.
Mario Vartanainen doing a great job at keeping Luke Rosella behind him. And here comes the 55 up through the gears. That Ford Mustang is a fast engine under the hood to the inside of the Holden. That Holden of Vartanainen is going to have 2 Fords now on him as here comes Adam Briggs in the 72. That Simrigs Ford Mustang very fast as he's going to go around the outside of Luke Rosella now side by side behind the 77.
Tell you what, who needs Formula 1? This is fantastic racing as the 72. Briggs goes up the inside. Can he make it stick? He can! Gets it turned really, really tight. And of course, remember, these guys, they go 3 wide down the pit straight. I do not believe it. Coming into Hell Corner, Rosella looks to tuck back and get the cutback. Vartanainen runs a little bit wide, and who is going to get the run here? Now, of course, open setup here, so some of these drivers will have the car more trimmed out than others, but look at Rosella trying to get in the draft, and here he goes then. He's now got the run. Oh, but there's nowhere to go.
Unfortunately, did not have enough room. Contact the 77, a small tap to the 72, and into the wall goes Adam Briggs.
Oh, that was so close there. Vartanainen thought he'd given him enough room, but just the lightest of taps into that corner. It's off camber, so it's so easy to get into the wall there, and that just splits them up a little bit. And now Rosella right on the back bumper of Vartanainen as they come over the mountain. There's no overtaking opportunities here, but you want to try and really hustle and hassle the car in front into a mistake. I think Vartanainen is... Sorry, Josh, my apologies. I think Vartanainen is actually quicker over the mountain. I think he's running more downforce on that car because he's not got the straight line speed that Rosella does. I think Vartanainen's maybe just got a little bit more wing on that car. What do you reckon?
I think he does. He is so fast down that straightaway, and Rosella now falling back as Briggs now sits behind this 2-car battle. We do have a review of that incident between Vartanainen and Briggs, and it was found a net code incident, no penalty involving either car. As there goes Vartanainen back through the Conrad Straight into the chase. Gonna keep Rosella behind him as it looks like Rosella's connection starting to lose a little bit as here comes Briggs now looking for the spot.
Yep. Of course, like sometimes as we see, Rosella looks up the inside and he taps Vartanainen. Oh, that is... Oh, dear, dear, dear. Just a light tap. And look at this. Look at this. Rosella pulling over to let Vartanainen by. Fantastic sportsmanship there from Rosella. Knew he'd made a little bit of an error on the brakes. No malice involved. A little bit of a tap and lets him by. Brilliant stuff. That's what we like to see.
Great racer there. And the drive-through penalty for the 55 for that contact. He's going to have that drive-through penalty. Must serve it on this lap. Just getting a little overzealous going through Murray's corner. Wasn't hard enough on the brakes. He gave that spot back, and he's still going to have that drive-through penalty to serve on this lap. As we work lap 26 now, and Briggs now up into third. Myers, Dyson, and Briggs qualified 1, 2, 3, and they're now scored there after 26 laps of racing.
Yeah, so Rosella obviously thinking that letting Vartanainen by would be enough, but the stewards think otherwise, so he will go for a drive-through penalty. We know we're going to get a competition caution in the next 6 laps. So, Rosella will need to get to pit lane and get that served quickly so he can get back out on the track before the caution comes out.
Correction, Peter, our steward Dane Baird, just let us know that the penalty was reversed because he did get back that position.
Oh, good.
So a
Excellent.
quick call from the stewards there, reversed it after looking at that replay, giving the spot back. So Rosella is going to continue to race from position number 5, try and make up those put positions right back as he can.
Excellent stuff. Thank you to Dane Baird of Kairos Competition fame, and doing a great job in the stewarding booth here.
Look at this battle. Scott Newton on Damon Stockton in that 696, another one of the Simrigs Ford Mustangs. Newton has had one of the fast cars all day, and there goes the caution. There's the safety car. Lap 27, it comes out. Brady Myers leads. Dyson second, Briggs third. So that top 3 as we go into the safety car with 14 laps to go.
Well. So look at this. 22 seconds of an advantage from Myers to Dyson, gone. And also 10 seconds of an advantage from Dyson to Briggs, gone. So this is just going to bunch the whole field up. Brady Myers knew this was coming. This isn't a surprise to him, but he's going to have to do all that work again. And just 13 laps of this race left, roughly about half an hour or so. So it's going to be a very, very fierce battle to the finish here. I'm excited, Josh.
This is going to be an insane restart. Single file, no overtaking. The rules from the stewards given for this safety car. As everybody just tries and catches the line. And Myers just trying to conserve tires. And make sure he can get to this safety car queue. And just what? He had such an insane lead, a 20-second lead over second place. And just like that, one click of a button from the stewards, that is now all gone. He is going to have to defend from multiple cars behind him on this restart if he wants to get this win.
Yeah, well, he's certainly got the pace to do it, but here at Bathurst, it's, of course, the Australian former Motor Grand Prix rider and former World Superbike champion Troy Bayliss, he always just said, you always just have to, whenever you're overtaken, you just snap back. And that's what Dyson can do. If he can get that move in early, just try and pinch Myers' pocket, that could change the complexion of the race. But Myers is so far ahead. There he is. Now there's the Porsche 911 safety car. Come out to gather the field up. And there is Dyson in the 41 Ford. So we've got a Ford versus Holden battle at the top. Of course, that battle is raged on here in the Bathurst 1000 in the real world. Of course, 30. Holden still the most successful manufacturer in Bathurst history with 33 wins, Ford with just 22. And would you believe it that Morris Mini have a victory at the Bathurst 1000?
There is a replay of right as the pace car, or right as the caution came out, and he was setting up for a move going down Conrad Straight, and just like that, taken away from him.
Yep, he'll have to do it all again. Will Scott Newton, unfortunately, in that 13 Holden. So the field's starting to get gathered up now as well, behind the Porsche 911 pace car. Of course, but the real world Bathurst 1000 happening in a couple of weeks' time, where the drivers compete for the Peter Brock Trophy. Of course, Peter Brock, the most successful driver ever in Bathurst 1000 history. 9 victories in this incredible motor race. Now, of course, we've got the iRacing Bathurst 1000 next weekend, 4 times the race distance of this race here, and well, what an extraordinary challenge that will be for the drivers involved.
So the entire field gets single file behind the iRacing.com pace car. We're a little over halfway in this race. When we go back to racing, we'll be near 10 laps to go. And Peter, the racing we have seen so far, second to none right now on the sim. Just an incredibly exciting race we've seen. And we still have 10 laps left to go.
Yeah, it's going to be, and 10 laps around here is long as well, about 25 minutes or so. So that's going to be very, very tricky indeed for our drivers, just to keep the car out the barrier. And look at the track temperature on the right-hand side of your screen from our SDK graphic, 47 degrees centigrade. That is incredibly high track temperature. Now, what that means, folks, is that really high track temperature, it does a lot of things which none of which help performance. It makes the tire wear out quicker and makes it very, very greasy and slippy, which is the last thing that these cars need because, of course, they've got so much horsepower to put down. So really, really tricky conditions, but just another one of the challenges of racing here down under at Bathurst. As the lights are on of our iRacing pace car, so we'll have at least one more lap under the pace car before we get back to green again.
What this is also doing is cooling down those tires, cooling down the engines before they get ready to make this final sprint. So this start to this restart is going to be crucial because these cars are going to be cold. The tires will be cold, not as cold as the original start, but they are still going to be colder than they were at full speed. So getting those tires warmed up as quickly as possible into the optimum temperature for race pace is going to be crucial if you want to make up positions.
Now, what's interesting here, we've got the 337 car of Justin Schweikert there, and also the number 4 car of Jason Hoke, who are in between Myers and Dyson. So I wonder if, I would love to know from our stewards, if the number 4 car and the number 337 will be given the wave around to make their way back round to the back of the pack. I wonder if they will, because that would be crucial to if Myers and Dyson are going to start together, as we see Attard going into pit lane again. Now, he's already served his drive-through penalty, so he's obviously, I wonder, I know what he's doing. He's coming in to get another fresh set of tyres and looking to have that fresh set of tyres for the end of the race.
I'm wondering how much that'll help him, because he has had good pace all day. Not exactly Brady Myers pace, but still good pace. Will he have enough time to make up enough positions with those fresh tires?
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see, that's for sure. I mean, it is a lot. They did take new tyres at their pit stop, so not actually got that, but probably got about maybe 12 laps on those tyres right now. So, like you say, don't know how much of an effect it will be. But, you know, sometimes some drivers, you just got to think, well, I'll just roll the dice and try. And you never know what that can affect. Of course, tyres have very much been the hot topic of discussion in the Real World V8 Supercar Championship this year. Of course, a new sprint racing format, and the drivers given a very small allocation of Dunlop tyres to make blast over the 3 races. And basically, the drivers aren't given enough tyres to have a fresh set all the time. So there are some races where they have to compromise the performance, and that has really shaken up the order. We've seen a lot of new winners in the championship, which has been great to see. So tyres definitely a factor in the real world as they are here in the sim, but it will be fascinating to see if the stewards are going to let the number 4 car and the number 337 car by for the wave around, and then bring Dyson in the 41 car up behind Myers, immediately behind Myers on track. That's going to be, to be honest, I think that's going to be pivotal to the result of this motor race.
Lights out on the pace car. We'll be going back to racing this time by, and word from the stewards, lap cars will be getting the wave around this time. And they're asking if all the lead lap cars who are not receiving a wave around to stay to the right. It looks like they'll be given that wave around here on the Conrad Straight as we get ready to go back to racing.
Okay, interesting stuff. Quite late to do the wave around with the pace car with the lights off, but we'll let them go. There they go then. Number 4 goes past Brady Myers, coming through the dipper. The leaders move over to the right, and there we go then. Holden, number 22 of Myers, Ford, number 41 of Dyson. This is going to be a fantastic battle to the flag.
Hoek and Schweikart given the wave around from the pace car. Don't believe anybody else will be receiving a wave around, so this is the order we will have when we go back to racing. Brady Myers, Andrew Dyson, Adam Briggs, your top 3. A couple more drivers getting a wave around the pace car. Matthew Feldman, Mal Paul, Matt Knight all waved around. See if we have any more wave arounds here, but Myers from Dyson, Briggs, Vartanian, and Rosella going to be your top 5 when we go back to racing. As the wave arounds conclude, Steve Brown also receiving a wave around. as they head through the chase, down the Conrad Straight, into the chase, and then through Murray's Corner. These drivers will be going back to racing. Cold tires, cold engines, everybody wanting to get back to racing for the remainder of this race. We'll be going green with 11 laps to go here at the historic Mount Panorama Circuit. Myers just sitting behind that pace car. He needs to defend all he can. He has an entire field of hungry racers wanting to get by that 22 Logitech Esports machine. Question is, will anybody be able to do it? Myers started from the pit lane, got the lead on lap 18, and has not looked back ever since. As the pace car pulls back into pit road, we are getting ready to go back to racing here in the Bathurst 250. Myers from Dyson, Briggs, Bartini, and Rosella. We're back racing.
Yeah, and straight away the 41 of Dyson just flashing his lights, trying to put anything to distract Myers. He's got to do that. He's got to get in Myers' head straight away. So Myers leads through Hell Corner then, but Dyson right behind in the Ford. Interesting to see how these two cars are set up. Who's got the legs going up the mountain straight? Looks like Myers does. He's got an excellent exit out of Hell Corner and already pulling a car or two. But the 72 of Briggs, his Ford, not far behind either.
Myers leads through Griffin's Bend. They're going to make their way up to the cutting using all of the off-track that they can. Coming off of that corner, Myers pulling away from Dyson and Briggs, the two teammates, the 41 and the 72. Matching Mustangs trying to chase down that Holden out in front. But pulling away once again is Brady Myers through the mountain section.
Tell you what, Myers is so smooth there. Really, the car looks like it's on rails, like it's got four-wheel drive, which is very difficult to do in these wild V8 supercars here down under at Bathurst. Well, so you see the field now bunched together. This is going to create some fantastic racing to the flag as we look at the number 12 of Antoniev running in 6 right now. He's got the 696 of Stockton Ford Mustang right behind there. But Myers, look at this. He is the king of the mountain. Look at the amount of time he's pulled out there over the mountain section. That's where he's making all of that time up.
Well, what's interesting and what I'm noting here is Myers isn't pulling away by too much. He's only ahead by 7/10, and that gap just went down to 6/10 as they make their way through the chase. But Myers isn't pulling away as much as I expected. Dyson and Briggs have him reeled in as huge contact. Newton involved, Stockton involved. I think there's one more down in the grass. That's the 12 car of Sander Artanayev. Also involves huge contact down the Conrad Straight.
Oh, that's a big one there. Scott Newton's struggling around there as Myers. Wow, look at that pace from Myers. 204.5. Very fast. Fastest lap of the race. Now let's see what happened here. Scott Newton looks to be... Is he the innocent party? Yes, he is. He sees this going on in front, tries to avoid it, and then whack, gets hit by the 696 car. Damon Stockton, absolutely nothing Scott Newton could have done there. That is incredibly unfortunate. He saw it going on in front. 12 of Antoniev. He goes to defend. What happens here? Looks like maybe a bit of contact. Yes, just a punt from 696 of Damon Stockton there, and that ends 3 driver races. That is really unfortunate there. As we see Kester Mack looks up the inside of his teammate. Oh dear, we never like just about gets by, tries to avoid. A few cars go by. Antoniev back onto the circuit as well, but carnage further back in the field.
Drive-through penalty given to Stockton, and it looked like he was just on the back bumper, tried to make a move but couldn't. And Newton with hard hit to that left side sent him around. The 3 cars involved in that incident, a couple more took a trip into the grass, but not a lot of damage or any damage to them. As this race for the lead continues, all 3 cars on the podium up here. But we know all 3 of them want to race for the win. 2 teammates behind Brady Myers. They have him reeled in. They just can't get to the back bumper to make a move down the Conrad Straight.
Yep, down they go then. They're flashing away. Myers doesn't look to be perturbed at all. But I tell you what, Adam Briggs, he's number 72. He's been relatively quiet this race, but he is right there in his Ford Mustang. And Dyson just has a little look in, just mirror driving Myers just a little bit, trying to fill his rear view mirror just a little. But Myers is really strong. He's not going to be put off by this. But This is really hot pace. This is in the 2-minute and 4-second bracket now. This is qualifying pace. Really, really tough. But I tell you what, this race is far from over. Myers is, well, yeah, remember he had a 22-second lead before that caution. He's now got it all to do with 2 snarling Mustangs behind him. Oh, big oversteer coming out of Hell Corner for Dyson.
Seems like everybody there had a long oversteer. You can even look in the back. Rosella had oversteer coming off of that corner. As the tires wear, they start to heat up. The track continues to heat up as well. It is going to make these cars skate like they're on ice through Griffin's Bend. They're reaching up on a lapped car. I'm wondering how that's going to influence this lead battle as they work their way through the cutting.
Yeah, hopefully they won't reach that car until they get to the Conrod Straight, and the 037 Holden of Brown will be able to move over. But if they catch that car coming into the Dipper, for example, that will cause a very, very big issue for these drivers. But look at this, the king of the mountain, Brady Myers, really hustling that Holden through that mountain section. I just think he's got that car a little bit more aerodynamically set up. He's just got a little bit more wing in there, a little bit higher downforce. Obviously that's hurting him down the straights. The Mustangs are able to reel him in there, but over the mountain section he's really, really hustling the car hard and able to just trim out that little bit more time. Now here we go, they've caught the 037 of Brown on the Conrod Straight, and actually the 22 of Myers, he's going to get a bit of a tow here actually from this lap traffic.
That's going to help him down this fast straightaway. He sees that 037 of Steve Brown in front of him, just using that draft to his advantage like a stock car at Daytona, right down to the inside in the chase. So he'll grab that spot. Now how will this lapped car affect the drivers behind him? Myers needs them to be held up by that lapper. And it looks like they were. So around goes the 637. The 037, Steve Brown, was around. Was it contact between Andrew Dyson and Steve Brown? Here's the pass that Myers made. If this is contact between Dyson and Brown, we could very well see a penalty for Dyson. Yes, it was.
Yes.
Oh, Dyson might be receiving a penalty for that one.
I don't know. I think it's, to be honest, although the official rule is that you don't have to move over as a lap car, there is absolutely nothing to gain there of trying to race with the 3 leaders of the race, and that, to be honest, kind of unnecessary there from the 037 car of Brown. Should have moved over there and let the leaders through and let them go, both drivers to get on with their race. So I'd be interested to see what the stewards think of that. As whoa, huge move. Huge moment there for Brady Myers. Let's get another look at it then. There's really no need for this car 1 lap down, in fact 5 laps down, I apologise, to be there getting in the way of the lead battle, to be honest.
Waiting on the official word from the stewards. We'll let you know when we get that. As the leaders work lap 33 of 48 laps to go here at Bathurst in the Bathurst 250 Apex Racing League special event. We're glad you're joining us here on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV. Great racing all day long, as we are nowhere near done yet, as 2 teammates fight here towards the back. That is Kester Mack fighting with his teammate Grant Matterford in the 379. A Holden and a Ford going battling each other here.
Well, Kester Mack, he certainly has some Marco Barbanera approved bright pink overalls and gloves as well. I'm sure that will make Marco very happy. Of course, loves his bright pink car. There you go, look at that. Very bright indeed. You can see where, as his teammate has a little bit of a moment. He's right into the back of him here. Has to come out the gas there, but does get by. Does the 145 of Kester. And, that was a close one. Very, very close one there. The 379 of Madiford. Just making a little bit of a mistake there.
Those 2 cars continue to battle. High-speed right-hander. Love that camera angle there. And the incident involving the 41 and the 037 has been noted by the stewards. No official word on it yet. They have taken a look at it, and they will continue to take a look at it as we go right back up to the battle for the lead between Myers and Dyson. Now about 1 second between these two as they head back through to turn 2, Griffin's Bend.
Of course, all of our drivers, when the lap down, they will be shown the blue flag, which is, of course, advisory. but there is no mandate to have to pull over. But it is quite honestly better strategy for all concerned to do that when you've got guys that are probably 5 or 6 seconds a lap quicker. There's absolutely no merit at all in trying to fight with them, especially when you're now 6 laps down. To be honest, no excuse for that for me, in my opinion. But that is only my opinion. But that has allowed Brady Myers just to get that little bit of an edge on Dyson and Briggs as well. And Myers able just to use that little advantage he's got over the mountain to stretch away.
41 of Andrew Dyson given a warning for that incident. So no penalties he needs to serve. Just a warning for him. And they're coming up on another laps car here. Hopefully he knows about that warning, takes that into consideration as he tries to get by that green car up ahead.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Maybe lap traffic is going to be the story that decides this race as they head down towards the chase. Very, very quick part of the circuit here. The quickest part of the circuit. Hard on the brakes. You see the little spit of flames out of these side exit exhausts. I have to say, these are, they may be based on the Holden Commodore, a pretty humble car in road trim, but in a race car trim here in the V8 supercars, well, what spectacular race cars these Mustangs and Commodores are. As we go side by side, a Tard in the 131 goes by the 315 of Ferriss through the chase and up into 6th place. Now remember, a Tard has those fresh books on that car.
On to lap 35, 6 laps to go. As this lead battle continues, 2 teammates behind the 22 of Brady Myers, this top 3. Exactly the same as where they qualified. Myers qualified first, Dyson qualified second, Briggs qualified third, all within 2 seconds of each other as they start another lap. Will they be able to get to the back bumper of Myers? That is the huge question right now, as Myers just continues to not really pull away, but he's just doing a great job at holding that lead as both cars get oversteer coming out of the cutting.
Huge oversteers, always tricky there coming out the cutting, just opening up that horsepower, often in first or maybe second gear. And with all that power, 650 horsepower, which comes in all at once like a light switch, really requires a lot of finesse on the throttle pedal there as well. And you see a lot of drivers throwing a gear at it, going up a gear, short shifting to try and smooth the power delivery out. But it's so slick and slippery here at Bathurst. But once again, Myers just that little bit more impressive over the mountain section. But on the straights, definitely Dyson and Briggs in the Fords have the edge on the straights.
Mario Vartanainen continues to try and keep Luke Rosella behind him. We've seen these two battle, I think, more than any other car on the track right now. As Rosella and Vartanainen, it seems like they always just continue to find each other no matter where they are on the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. They've been glued together all day. And of course, you see Vartanainen just getting a little look on the grass there. Have to be careful there. Rosella looks to the inside, but Vartanainen just that little bit better on the brakes there into the chase. Runs in a little bit wide. Rosella might get a little bit on the gas a little bit early. And big oversteer there on the curbs down towards Murray's. Getting towards the end of this race now. This is really heating up. But watch, Attard, he's in 6th place on fresh tyres, but he's got another 13 seconds up to these guys. So he did throw the dice and, went for the gamble, but it looks like he's not going to have quite enough time as we see, the 4 car. That's the 4 car of Jason Hoke. He's had a little bit of a spin there, coming onto the mountain straight and just about gets out the way of Rosella and Vartanainen.
Not going to affect this lead lap battle as Rosella look to the inside. He's going to continue that look. Not going to have a room there. The 77 shut the door on Rosella as they continue to battle now back up into the mountain section.
Yeah, brilliant battling here from her. Whoa, as Rosella gets a big slide. It's just fantastic to watch. It's like they're driving on ice. Unbelievable stuff. And Rosella really hustling Vartanainen right up to the wall. And just that little, again, Vartanainen just that little bit better over the mountain. So, although interestingly, the cars dynamically are exactly the same, they're just a different body, the Holden guys, by just coincidence, just seem to have their cars set up just that little bit better over the mountain. But the Fords, a little bit quicker down the straight. Just maybe coincidence, really.
Back up to the leader, Brady Myers, down the Conrad straight. Another lapped car up ahead. 1.27 seconds back to Andrew Dyson. Adam Briggs sits in third with 2 seconds back from the leader. It's a tap to the grass for Myers. Not going to affect that 22 much. Nothing has affected that 22 all day long. Fastest car on the racetrack, and he continues to show that as he continues to lead the way. As Rosella just not able to get to the back bumper, and you need to be on the bumper in these cars to make a move for a pass, and he just cannot get close enough right now.
Yeah, if you want to make a move there into the chase, you've got, like you say, you've got to have it lined up early and be prepared to go very, very late on the brakes. And these cars, they are so tricky in braking to modulate. Very, very easy to pinch a brake, pinch a tire, and just lock up slightly. So you've got to be so careful. But I tell you what, Vartanainen, he has driven extraordinarily well all day, led the race for the first part, and defending very, very well from Rosella, who has incredible pace too. And they go along the mountain straight. Oh, a little bit of weaving there, Vartanainen trying to break the toe, but Rosella's right in his silhouette there. Brilliant stuff between these two drivers. Rosella looks to the inside, trying to hustle Vartanainen into a mistake. Some of the best race driving you're ever likely to see here. Brilliant stuff from both.
Back up into the mountain section through the cutting. This is where Rosella seems to fall off, and it seems like it's the same every lap. Rosella will catch him coming down the mountain straight, looks to the inside, not able to make the pass happen, and then through the mountain section, he falls back, and the gap continues to widen until they come down the Conrad straight when he finally gets closer, but it seems like Rosella's maybe a tad better through the mountain section this time by.
Could be, but looks like Dyson's made a mistake in the 41 car. His teammate, the 72 of Adam Briggs, has gone by into second place, and the gap has gone from 1 second to Myers to 2.7 for Briggs and 3.5 for Dyson. So it's obviously Dyson made a mistake, which is slowing up his teammate slightly, and that has allowed Myers to escape. And with 3 laps to go, that could be absolutely crucial.
It will take 3 to go this time by. Briggs now in second place, trying to get to Myers. Here comes the 55 and the 77 down the Conrad straight into the chase. Again, not close enough. They're so fast going into that section, hard on the brakes. Not able to get to him. Here's Simon Ferriss. He is currently scored in the 7th spot with Lachi Brown right behind him. Back through that hard right-hander. On the brakes, he looks to the inside, not making anything happen. A car like between Brown as Rosella gets pushed all the way down to the wall by the 77, not able to make the move happen, but they come off a Hell's Corner down the mountain straight. Can Rosella have the speed?
And this is getting very spicy now. A really tough battle here between Vartanainen and Rosella. Rosella gets the run. Look at this, he goes to the outside. Ooh, does it fit round there? I don't think it does. Vartanainen's later on the brakes, almost too late on the brakes, and runs Rosella wide. I wasn't quite sure what Rosella's thinking was there to go to the outside at Quarry Bend. They head up to the cutting then, and this is really getting very, very fierce as well with, like you say, Rosella nearly getting squeezed into the wall on the pit straight.
The battle continues to heat up, and this is a battle for P number 4. 1 spot off of the podium. Oh, tap to the wall for Rosella there. Sparks flying.
Yeah, just a little bit of a rub. You see almost every car in the field has some form of damage. It's just so difficult to keep the car out of the wall here at Bathurst. But Vartanainen down through the dipper. You just see the car lift off there. It's just like you're falling off a cliff. Really, really tricky section there. But Vartanainen, look at that. Yes, that little rub with the wall has obviously unsettled Rosella, and that is just given a little bit of breathing space for Vartanainen in the Holden.
There's the comparison. Rosella faster through that first section, and that includes the mountain straight. And then through the mountain section, all the tight corners and all the drop-offs, it seems like Vartanainen can really pull away. And again, down the straightaway, Rosella is faster. So we can see exactly who is faster in what sections, but Vartanainen does a better job at pulling away through that mountain section, and that is worth more than all the straightaways and all the non-mountain sections on this racetrack.
Absolutely, yeah, completely agree. It's obviously, I think it's going to come down to, obviously, it'll come down to what the skill of the driver, but also to setup as well. It looks like Vartanainen just running a little bit more wing, a little bit more downforce on that car. Also, it could be a question of gearing as well. These cars, you can get in there and adjust all the gearing. That could be playing an effect as well. So Rosella got a bit of a dragster. And, well, Vartanainen got a little bit of, he's got a little bit more nimble, a little bit more maneuverable car. And you see, look at that, Rosella just reels him in on the straight, but Vartanainen quicker over the mountain. I think that's a question of setup.
2 laps to go. Brady Myers took on a lap 39 last time by. And here he goes, going through the mountain section once again. I mean, just the dominant car of the day. You look up domination in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of that 22 Logitech Holden right in there, because he started in pit lane, worked his way up through the field, got the lead on lap 18, and has not looked back since. We had a safety car. He got that restart. The 72 and the 41 had him reeled in, but consistent laps from Brady Myers made him able to now extend that lead to around 4 seconds. Just what a drive from Brady Myers today here in Bathurst.
Yep, for me, for Brady Myers, it's my drive of 2020 here on iRacing. Absolutely extraordinary to start from pit lane, come through the field here at Bathurst, and lead the field and looking to take the win here in the Bathurst 250. He's going to be I think he's one to watch for the main event next week, as we see Rosella going round the outside of Vartanainen. He's got the run. Oh, can he make it stick? He'll have to be very late on the brakes. Tries to slow that Mustang down. He has done, but Vartanainen right on his gearbox. Now, although Vartanainen doesn't have the pace in a straight line, he can keep in the draft. And then, well, it'll just be see if he can make that move. We're on to the white flag lap then. Last lap this time round for these drivers.
Myers with a 4-second lead over Briggs and Dyson. Briggs and Dyson separated by almost 3 seconds as well. So this top 3 pretty solidified, albeit nobody makes any mistakes. As they come down the mountain straight. This is Rosella and Vartanainen. The main battle up here at the front between the 55 and the 77 down the mountain straight. Lights flashing on that Holden of the 77. Into Griffin's Bend. Everybody good through. Rosella needs to have a good lap this time through the mountain section to hold on to this 4th spot.
Vartanainen really just trying to do anything he can to distract Rosella, and he done it. Rosella just goes that little bit wide there through the cutting, but just about able to hang on to the position. Thankfully, all one line here through the mountain, but we know Vartanainen's quick over the mountain. He'll be right on the bumper of Rosella. Through they go. It's Ford versus Holden here at Bathurst. Over we go. What a blind corner there towards the S's and down towards the Dipper. Who is going to take this?
Through the S's into the Dipper. Man, it just looks like Luke Rosella has that thing trimmed out so loose. He's basically sliding through these corners, but he keeps the car under him.
Oh, he gets a pretty good exit there out of Forest Elbow, and we know that he's got a trimmed out car. As you said, he's trying to break the toe from Vartanainen. Vartanainen follows him. Well, just that little bit of a straight line advantage, but here's your winner then.
Brady Myers, the ultimate drive here in the Bathurst 250, is gonna win in the 22 for Logitech GE Sports.
Incredible drive there from Brady Myers. Adam Briggs brings it home in second. Andrew Dyson in the number 41 Mustang gets it into third. Now, who is going to take fourth? Will it be Rosella or Vartanainen? Rosella's got it right now through the final corner of Murray's. Big oversteer moment there from Rosella. Will he get the run to the line? He does.
So Rosella takes fourth. Vartanainen in fifth. A great drive from him. He was able to start on the pole after 4 cars started in the pits. Held onto it for a good while and was able to come home in fifth. Addard comes home sixth. This is the battle further down the order between Kestermack and Xander Antonieff for 10th place. This is for top 10. The 12 goes to the inside into the Murray's corner. Does he make it stick? No! Off track he goes. The 144 is going to take 10th place. And around goes the 12. He's going to lose also 11th to the 379. 12th place for Xander Atanayev.
Oh, look at this. Stylish burnouts from Myers, Dyson, Briggs, and some donuts as well. Brilliant stuff, guys. Look at this. That's one for the Christmas card list. Well, what a drive from Brady Myers in that 22 Holden. I tell you what, next week in the Bathurst 1000 here on iRacing, watch for Brady Myers. He has got race-winning pace. Make no mistake about it.
Just what a drive from him to start from the pits and work his way all the way up through traffic at a course that is notoriously tough to pass. And he went from, I believe he started around 20th. So he went all the way from 20th to 1st in 18 laps. So he averaged passing more than one car, at least one car per lap. Just what an intense drive from Brady Myers. And I cannot wait for that post-race interview. He takes the win with Adam Briggs in 2nd, Andrew Dyson 3rd, Luke Rosella 4th, Mario Vartanayan in 5th, Cohen Addard in 6th, Lochi Brown in 7th, Simon Ferriss 8th, Phil McDougall in 9th, Kester Mack rounds out your top 10, Grant Matterford in 11th, Xander Antonijev in 12th, Justin Schweikart in 13th, 14th, Matt Feldman, 15th, Jason Hoek, 16th, Mal Paul, 17th, Diane Feldman, 18th, Steve Brown, 19th, Scott Newton, Damon Stockton rounds out your top 20 with Matt Knight and Daniel Eisch rounding out the 22-car field. As we continue to wait for some post-race interviews, Peter, just what a race here at Mount Panorama.
Oh, that did not disappoint. That was absolutely extraordinary. Great racing, great battles, and I tell you what, that was just extraordinary to watch when Brady Myers, he qualified on pole with a blistering lap time, 2-minute 3.5, just exceptional pace, and then has to start from pit lane, doesn't make the start, and then cuts all the way through to win, and then even after losing a 22-second lead because of the caution, and held off a strong challenge from Adam Briggs and Andrew Dyson, absolutely exceptional entertainment here on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV.
Well, we have our race winner standing by in the interview waiting area, Brady Myers. What a race from you here today. How was that race from the cockpit? Because it was stellar from up here in the booth.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Just kind of worked my way through. Didn't want to make any brash moves. Obviously starting from the pits, and yeah, just wanted to keep it clean and work my way through, and yeah, we managed to do that relatively unscathed.
So you started from the pits. Was that missing the grid, or was that kind of a statement saying, hey, I have an insanely fast car, here I come, dicing up through the grid?
Basically, Adam Briggs, Andrew Dyson, I had a gentleman's agreement just to start from the pits and see what happened from there. But no, the car was really mega. Like our tire wear and our consistency is quite good, and I think that allowed us to keep punching out good times.
Now, this is the Apex Racing League Bathurst 250. We have the Bathurst 1000 coming up on the sim in just a couple weeks' time. You will be racing in that, I assume. How confident are you going in to one of the most special events on the iRacing service for the year?
Definitely fairly confident. We had another league race with the 1000 just last Sunday, so we're pretty well rehearsed. But my co-driver and I are looking for a bit of redemption because we got done dirty a bit in the end of the race, so we're looking for a big one, for a big result.
Anyone else you would like to thank here on Apex Racing TV and the iRacing Esports Network?
I'd just like to thank just the team at Altus Esports. They've been working really hard with setup and trying to make the car nice to drive and nice on tires and everything. Just to our partners and sponsors, Logitech G, Astro Gaming, Cube Controls, Own TV, Race Tech Seats, and you guys for the broadcast. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations to you, Brady Myers, your race winner here at Bathurst. Currently standing by with second place Adam Briggs is my Peter McKay.
Adam Briggs, what an exceptional race that was to watch. I can't imagine what it was like from the driving seat. You were right there in the battle for the win. Tell us about it.
Yeah, no, it was a great race. Brady, Andrew Dyson, and ourselves just sort of had a bit of an agreement before the race. Make it get a bit more spice and start from the pit lane, and yeah, just picking our way through the field, and yeah, it required patience, and it also required a bit of luck and good pace. Brady had great pace. But yeah, it was a good run, good fun race, and I'm sure everyone enjoyed it, including the people watching.
We certainly did, and I'm sure our viewers on iRacing Esports Network did as well. Now, of course, next week is the big one, the Bathurst 1000 here on iRacing. How are you feeling heading into that event?
Yeah, pretty good. Look, we did a similar-esque event in a series that's organised by a rival broadcaster, so I'll just keep things rather generic. Saying but no, yeah, look, it was a very good event. Lots of prep work for that, and then prep work this week with the official series being there, and then the iRacing official special event next week. So all the setups are pretty well sorted, and just little changes, comfort changes in the setups now. The setups are pretty much all sorted. So it's good to have a variety of different pace cars tonight, so you could sort of see where is and where is not a good place to pass traffic. So that's really good preparation as well. Race miles, you can't replace them. So yeah, look, yeah, we'll go into that with a degree of confidence and expect a good fun event.
Now, finally, of course, we have the real world Bathurst 1000 coming up a couple of weeks from now. Who's your pick for that race?
Yeah, that's a hard one. I actually think probably Chaz Mostert with the Walkinshaw team. There's a lot of parallels between the Bend Motorsport Park with the long flowing corners and the straights and that sort of thing. And he proved today in qualifying that it was very quick. So you need to qualify sort of somewhere up the front at Bathurst, so you can have clear running in the first half of the race, keep out of trouble. So I think if he does those things come Bathurst time, as he's done today, although the race didn't quite go his way, I think he's in with a very good opportunity to win his second Bathurst.
Absolutely, of course. It's been a while since 2014, and of course won the Daytona 24 Hours. So what a double to have the Daytona and the and the Bathurst 1000. Adam, congratulations on an excellent podium finish, and good luck next week for the Bathurst 1000 here on iRacing.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
We also have third place finisher now with us, Andrew Dyson. Andrew, it was a battle between you, your teammate, and Brady Myers all day. How was the race from inside the cockpit?
It was pretty intense, really. At the end there, we all had a little good battle with a bit of drafting and stuff. But can I just say big thanks to Brady and of course Adam as well for starting from the pit lane. Then thanks for being a good sport there, Brady. So it was good fun.
And you had to dice your way up through the field along with Myers, your teammate, and I believe one other car joined you from starting in the pit lane. So you had a lot of passing opportunities, but this is a track notoriously known for not exactly being too kind to passing. How did you really maintain the steady progression up through the field to ultimately finish in third?
Well, you're absolutely right. It's not the easiest track to pass on, but there is a few spots you can pass it, luckily enough, at the end of long straights. So you can draft past the cars and make the moves down the end of long straights, which is kind of handy. But a lot of the guys were pretty friendly when we were coming through, and even with racing on the US servo, there was a little bit of ping, a little bit of latency. Everyone gave each other a lot of room, so it was really good, and that made it really enjoyable.
Bathurst 1000 coming up here on the iRacing service. How confident are you going into that special event? Of course, one of the most well-known special events here on the service.
Well, myself and the boys at the simrigs.com team have done quite a few laps over the last few weeks with another big race last weekend, and obviously this race today, which is a nice little warm-up. So thanks for putting that on today. But yeah, we'll go okay. I think as long as we can stay out of trouble. It's a much longer race than this one, so we won't be trying to go as hard and passing some crazy spots probably like we did today, but we're looking forward to it for sure.
Anyone else who'd like to thank here on the iRacing Esports Network?
Yeah, all the guys at simrigs.com DPR, thanks for working on so hard on the setup these last few weeks with a lot of Bathurst races happening. Thanks to Brady for being a good sport, and thanks to Apex for putting on this race today.
Thank you very much, Andrew Dyson, P3 finisher here in Bathurst. Now Peter is standing by with our own Apex Racing guy, Scott Newton.
So we have Scott Newton here in the commentary box, joining us after what was certainly a hectic race. Scott, you were running so well, but unfortunately caught up in another incident. Not your fault. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, hey Pete. Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one actually, because I knew that we were catching Antonov probably a couple of tenths a lap, so I knew that if I stayed behind the 696 car of Stockton, we would eventually catch up to him. And yeah, Damon was right at the back of him, going up to the chase, and just that slope at either net code or just running up the back of him through the draft, it kind of forced both of them off the track. And yeah, I had to kind of predict where we were going, but doing 280 kilometers an hour into the chase is not necessarily the best way to try and avoid anything. So yeah, it was just a bit of an unfortunate event, but yeah, unfortunately that's racing.
Yeah, it happens. Of course, hopefully there'll be none of that next week for the Bathurst 1000. How are you and the Apex Racing team guys feeling heading to that event?
Yeah, to be honest, I don't think that we'll have any participants, but mainly I was doing this for preparation for another league race coming up in a couple of weeks. They're doing a Bathurst 500k race, so I'll be back at it again for pretty much double the distance in at least a couple of weeks' time.
Well, fantastic stuff. Well, we wish you all the very best of luck with that one, Scott. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, just huge shout out to sponsors of Apex Racing Team, SDK Gaming, St. Peter's PC Systems, all the guys at Apex Racing Team, and for you guys for putting on the broadcast as well. Cheers, guys.
Well, thank you very much, and good luck in a couple of weeks' time for the 500.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, catch you guys later.
An intense race here in Bathurst, the Bathurst 250 for the Apex Racing League. Peter, final thoughts from you. So we end up the broadcast 40 laps, and it seemed like every 2 seconds we had a new battle happening. We had new excitement out there.
Yeah, I think it was absolutely extraordinary performance from Brady Myers and Andrew Dyson and Adam Briggs as well. They were right there on the pace, and yeah, I think they will definitely be names to watch next week for the Bathurst 1000. And what an absolute privilege to get to commentate on that. Bathurst is a really special circuit, and a circuit that doesn't actually get raced on in the real world very often because of it obviously being a public road. So yeah, absolutely a pleasure to watch, and the car control, the racing was just exceptional today, and a perfect warm-up for going to watch Le Mans 24 Hours.
Well, we thank everyone for watching here on the iRacing Esports Network and Apex Racing TV's YouTube and Facebook pages. We thank you all for tuning in to the Mount Panorama Circuit here in Bathurst, Apex Racing League, Bathurst 250. For Marco Barbanera, Peter McKay, I am Joshua Lee. Thank you for watching, and we're saying goodbye from the virtual Bathurst.